Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna. And this morning, I want to raise the question as well as give an answer. How was your Thanksgiving? And we're going to talk to that as a trailer for the message on this coming Sunday. Though we will be virtual as a church. We'll be virtual as a church. We want to just raise this whole issue of Thanksgiving at LoDebar. Did you set the table? Did you set the table at your Thanksgiving at LoDebar? We're going to talk about what LoDebar is, where LoDebar is, and the impact that it has on our Thanksgiving, because it really kind of just lets us know how thankful we ought to be. How thankful we ought to be. So, good morning, everybody. Put it in the chat area. How was your Thanksgiving? Put out what did you eat in the chat area? I just want to know. I'm nosy this morning. I want to know. We had collard greens. We had mustard greens. We had the actual turnip there as well. Of course, we had some turkey. And what else? Okay, I'm back. My goodness. Well, let me see if anybody is still on. It just dropped. I had a power outage, a power surge, or something. It just went away. So I'm looking up here. It says 6 minutes ago. I was on talking away and asking you what did you have for Thanksgiving and all of that, Thanksgiving at LoDebar and all of those things. And the whole power went out in the house. How about that? But it's back on now, obviously. Obviously, I am back. So, how about this? How about this? Let's get back to what I asked, and then we're going to get into the manner. And that is Thanksgiving at LoDebar. Thanksgiving at LoDebar. Set the table. Set the table. That's what we're talking about on this morning. Let me greet some folk on this morning, but I want you to put in the chat area. Put it in the chat area. What did you have? What did you eat? What was on the menu? What was on the table? You set the table. So what was on it? And that's what we're going to talk about on this morning, Thanksgiving at Lodabar. So let's just get with it. Let's greet some folk this morning. Good morning, Ramona. How are you? Thank you for hanging in there. Okay, Ella, thank you for hanging in there with me. I don't know what happened. Power went out in the whole house. I don't know. But good morning, Gerald. How are you? Good morning, Brother Nesbitt. How are you? Brenda, how are you? Deborah, how are you? Vaughn, how are you? Vicky, how are you? Coach Dagny, how are you? All in the house. Laura, how are you on this morning? Dawn, how are you? Deborah, how are you? Put it in the chat area. Liz, how are you? Says like, okay, what did I have? Set the table. Thanksgiving at Lodabar. It is the trailer for the sermon this Sunday, of which we have already recorded. You already know you need to be with your family, gathering around your device or your television on this coming Sunday, 10 o'clock, one service, streaming only. Enjoy your family, and that's the way it is. So today's message, today's manna actually, is a trailer for that, as I typically do. Good morning, Elder Mobley. How are you? Samar, how are you all this morning? Good morning. Good morning, Erica. How are you on this morning? Yeah, so they really are technical difficulties. Yep, they are. You right about it. Dan the man, how are you this morning? Elder Jan, how are you on this morning? So Brenda, you are here. Thank you for hanging in here with me on it. Let me greet some more folk. Bernice, how are you on this morning? Pastor Leah, how are you? So in the midst of it, I was kind of introducing the manna on this morning, and I was sharing with you, first of all, tell me what you had, what did you eat, and all of that. It set the table. Thanksgiving at Lodabar. It's the trailer for what I will be ministering on this coming Sunday. As you already know, it's Virtual Sunday at New Life. The word is powerful. The worship is powerful. Don't you dare miss it. Don't dare miss it. All right? Please don't. Let me just read some menus. Set the table is what we're talking about. What did Liz? Liz said I had pork roast with dressing, green peas, I guess, peas with potatoes, mac and cheese, and custard pie. Okay. Let me get some others here. You the only one that has something to eat. Let me see if there's anybody else. Well, if ain't nobody gonna tell us what you ate but Liz, then we'll just go head on with the manna on this morning. How about that? I got a word for you. Just stand by. Here it comes. Good morning and welcome to Morning Manna, where in 5 minutes or less, you're going to get an impartation with the text, the talk, and the takeaway. Join the Morning Manna fam every weekday morning at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. Don't forget to put in the chat the revelation that you get and share the manna. Now, let's get ready to have some manna so you can make it through your day. Thanksgiving at Lodabar. Thanksgiving at Lodabar. Here's the text, 2 Samuel 9, 1 and 11. I want you to grab this. And David said, is there still anyone left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake? And Mephibosheth ate at the king's table like one of the king's sons. How about that? Yeah, here we go. Let me give you the context of what is going on, because many of us maybe have forgotten or don't remember or don't know what's happening in Lodabar. Lodabar was a place nobody wanted to be. By virtue of its definition and location and place, it was barren, broken, forgotten. It was a refuge for the rejected. Mephibosheth was the grandson of a fallen king who it was Saul. Jonathan was his dad. He was living in hiding. He was crippled by a childhood accident, running away from a um, enemy that was attacking them. His nanny dropped him, and he became crippled as a result of that. So he was convinced that his story was over, but God had a Thanksgiving invitation for him. Not only him, but us too. It was already written. Remember this. David remembered the covenant that he made to Jonathan. Grace remembers what people forget. Favor went looking for someone who was looking for something else to happen to him. And this is Mephibosheth. Grab this. Mephibosheth went from LoDebar to linen napkins with his crippled legs dangling from under the table. Could not have gotten there on his own. The only way could he get to the king's table was by the grace of God, like you and I set the table. So here it is. It's Thanksgiving with a twist, and that's what I want to share with you. Three things. I want you to grab this, and I want you to share this because so often we forget about it. The first thing is this: God comes looking for you when you can't look for him. God comes looking for you when you can't look for him. So what happened? David raises the question: is there anybody left in the household? Anybody? Because I need to bless them. David asked, and Mephibosheth was the one. He was crippled, couldn't get to the table. Grace is not earned, grace finds you. Even in your low places, LoDebar. God already has his name on the guest list, and he could not have put it there himself. Second thing is this: God rewrites your story while you're still living the old one. God rewrites your story while you're still living the old one. Mephibosheth called himself. This is what Mephibosheth said about himself: I'm a dead dog. But David called him your son at my table now. Your self description doesn't cancel God's declaration over your life. It's Thanksgiving at LoDebar. You better know it. LoDebar, remember, is a location but not a destiny. Here's the third thing I want you to get about Thanksgiving at LoDebar where you set the table. God reserves a seat for you no circumstance can cancel. God reserves a seat at his table that no circumstance can cancel. What does the scripture says? It says he was at LoDebar, but he was invited to Jerusalem. My God. From a low place to a high place. My God. From nothing to everything. And he's there as a result of a covenant. How many of us know that we're at the table, not because of what we did, but there was a covenant with our dangling, sinful legs covered in the napkin of Jesus Christ, a covenant that was made. You already know it. And we're sitting at the table. So when you sat at the table when you sat at the table yesterday, please know, it was because of a covenant that was kept, not because you kept the covenant. So what's your takeaway? The takeaway is this: your lowest is long, get it? Your lowest place cannot stop God's highest love. Your brokenness cannot block God's blessing. Your past cannot prevent God's promise. And this Thanksgiving, God is sending a David type grace to pull you out of whatever LoDebar you find yourself in. The Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you and give you peace. I'll see you Monday morning with more Morning Manna, and don't you dare miss our virtual Sunday message. The whole worship. It's not just a sermon, it's a whole worship. God bless you. Share the manna. If it bless you, bless somebody else. Bye now.